ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਅਰਦਾਸ ਪਈ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਪਈ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਸੱਚੀ ਸਾਈ। ਆਦ ਗੁੜੇ ਨਮੇ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਗੁੜੇ ਨਮੇ ਸਾਤ ਗੁੜੇ ਨਮੇ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇਵੇ ਨਮੇ। ਗੁਰੂ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਸਤਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Well, I'm a little lazy speaking my Punjabi, so we'll speak in English. A little mix will mix maybe a little bit. But thank you, Bhai Sahib Ji, for a very beautiful introduction. We have been to Scotland before. We've been to Glasgow, but this is our first time coming to Edinburgh, so we're very, very happy to be with you. And we drank some of that beautiful Scottish bunny that Bhai Sahib Ji demanded that we have. Give me energy to speak to you, so we didn't know about that. But Satsangat Ji, for a little history, my history, I'm now 70 years old. And I came to the feet of the Guru, I was 24 years old. So I was very, very young. And that first time I came in Matatake, I didn't even know where I was, but what I was doing. But as soon as my Matatake, as soon as my forehead reached the floor, I knew I had found a very special and very unique teaching in this world. And I searched for many years. I was very young. I started a spiritual search at a very young age. In the 1960s, there was nothing. Right? There was no internet. The kids today say, "Did you have internet?" I said, "No, I had infinite." Right? They said, "What was your Gmail?" I said, "It was Godmail." Right? That was my Gmail. We didn't have anything. What could we do? You know. But I was searching for a long time in my life for truth. And not I was looking, I'm going to change a religion. You don't change your culture. I'm still from my culture. You never change that culture. But I was looking for something that I couldn't find. And what I was looking for was a pathway to truth. And a spiritual understanding, not a religious. I could choose any religious, Buddha, Muslim, you know. But I wasn't looking I was going to change a religion. I was looking, where could I find a teaching that I could live. So I went as a young kid in my teenage years. In those years we had libraries. I don't know if you still have. I don't know. But I went to the library. I wanted to study. And I could find a book on Buddha. I could find a book Hinduism. I could find a book Muslimism. I could find a book Christianity. I could find many different things. But there was not one book that said Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Hanji? There's not one that I could find. So I still searched and searched. But I knew somewhere in my heart there was some teaching that was true. And that day I came, I met some Singhs. I was very lucky. I was a young man, maybe 1975, 1976. And they said, "We have a Gurdwara." I didn't even know what that meant. I said, "What do you do?" They said, "Oh, we do some meditation, we do some prayer." I said, "I like to pray, I like to meditate." "Well, I'll come." You know, "What time?" They said, 4 a.m. I said, 4 a.m.? I said, "Okay, I'll come 4 a.m. Amrit Vele." I said, "Okay, I'll come." I didn't live too far. So I came that morning and they did some exercise, then some Simran, and then after Simran they did Prakash, Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Prakash. I didn't know what that was, but I said they were doing Matatake, giving some donation, something. I said, "I can do that, that's okay." So I came that day and I said, "Okay," and I bowed my head at the feet of the Guru. And as soon as this forehead touched on, in fact, the feet of the Guru, that was it. I didn't know what it was, but I knew I had found something that was very unique and very special in this world. And then I sat in the Sangat and they began to do the kirtan. And I listened to the sound again, not understanding what one word, but the vibration, the Shabad Guru, the vibration of the sound started to go into my brain. And I sat and I said, "Oh my God, what is this beautiful, beautiful sound?" And then they read from Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and I said, "Oh my God, like this." Because sometimes something we know, maybe I can't say Pasa, I don't know that kind of thing, but I can only say that whatever that was touched my heart on that day. And I knew from that moment, this is a pathway. But I didn't know about the pathway. I didn't know anything. So I was like a baby, studying and learning. And then I heard the word Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and I said, what is Guru Nanak? Then I started to read and to understand how Guru Nanak was teaching such a universal truth. Because I was searching in my life, what is universal? Universal means for everyone. What is that truth? Because even as a child, I was a funny kid. You know, in school, even when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, you know, you have to write stories. Nobody liked it, but we had to write stories. And I would never say, and he did this, and he did that, and he went there. I would go he, she. And I'm talking 1962, 59, a long time. But my mind was already set that why isn't the world equal? You know, and during that time we could watch on TV in the United States the segregation, you know, where people of color had to be one side and white people had to be over this side. I said, this is wrong. That's not right. So I searched for that. What is that true teaching in this world? It has to be a true universal teaching. Has to exist. By 10 years old, that came to my mind. So I searched and I searched. I said, I'm going to study, I'm going to find, I want to know. Still, I couldn't find. And when I came to the feet of the Guru and I started reading what was Guru Nanak Dev Ji's message, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji said that everyone, he said, Ekunkar, he said everyone is created equal under one God. One God. And I said, wow, what a beautiful, beautiful understanding. And he said it didn't matter what was your color, what was your creed, what was your caste, what was your faith, what was your religion, what preference you had. But he said every single person is created under one God. And I said, yes, that's true. And that was true in my heart. And then I studied and I wanted to learn, well, what is this faith and how does it work and what is the protocol of what we do and how do we do it? And I studied and I learned. And for 20 years, I've been a Sikh now, 48 years something? In, I think 2026, I'll celebrate 50 years. 2/3 of my life at the feet of the Guru. Pretty good, Hanji, for a Gora kid. Not bad, right? You know, still Punjabi, Boltori Punjabi, you know, it's not a great, right? Gurmukhi is okay. So, on this journey, my first 20 years of this 48 journey, for 20 years I only served at the Gurdwara. And I said, I don't want one person, they should know my name, one person needs to say anything, and one person needs, oh, look at this, doing this, dude. I just wanted to serve at the feet of the Guru. And we did some teaching, learned Tabla, learned Vajja, learned a few things. But for 20 years, can you imagine in this day and age that a young person outside can spend 20 years just to do that seva? Not to ask for anything, not to want anything. I was running businesses, doing things, helping Sangha, helping children, this and that. And that was for about 20 years. So that I could get my root into Sikhi strong, my devotion. So I didn't say too much those first 20 years. Then they came to me from one of the Gurdwaras in Canada. They came and said, we have this TV show, do you want to come on and be a host? I said, well, I have to check. They said, check who? I said, I have to ask Guruji if I should go on television. And the message I received in my mind was saying that, well, you know, when you go on that television first time, you will never again have a private life. Your life will never be private. So first 20 years, I didn't say a word. Now the next 25 years, you can't keep me quiet. Right? Because I said in my mind, and before basics of Sikhi and all these others, right, we were the first in the world to broadcast about Sikhi in English, to reach not only English people, but a generation who was growing up at that time in Canada, who wasn't speaking the Punjabi, who wasn't getting the teachings in the Gurdwara to understand what is the science and the technology of Gurbani. What is the science and the technology of Sri Guru Granth Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, explained in a way that they could understand and, most importantly, bring it to their life. Because one day somebody came to me, "Oh, are you a Sikh? You don't follow that Sikh religion?" They asked me. I said, "No." He said, "You don't? Well, you look like that Sikh. What do you do?" I say, "I live the Sikh way of life." Because Guru Nanak Dev Ji gave us a way of life to live, is what I learned. I don't know I want to be religion. I'm a very devoted person. But I was looking for that way of life that would give me a technology and a way of living that would give me peace in my heart. I was searching for that peace. And I was searching, where could we find it? And as I studied, went on and learned more and studied Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and read and learned and translated and understood and saw the science and the technology and the power of what Guru Nanak Dev Ji and our Gurus have shared and the sacrifices that they gave so that we could live, sacrifices that are unparalleled in the history of humanity, that our Gurus gave their lives not just as Sikhs should live, but for all humanity should live. And the world yet did not know about those sacrifices. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, all those who gave their lives so that others could live. And the Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, who gave us that understanding of how from that point to become Khalsa and how to live as Khalsa. Khalsa has no gender. Khalsa has no geography. Khalsa is not limited. But to teach a generation how to apply, we say in English, the word consciousness and awareness. Everything that I've learned in these years has been at the feet of the Guru to help me to better understand how I within myself can become a better person. So there's that part that goes inside, but also to help me learn to help others and be with others. Those were the pillars that we learned. Bani, Bana, Simran, and Seva. 4 pillars. Bana, Bani, Seva, and Simran. So Bani we know is what? Bani is that which vibrates inside of us. That through the Bani, because the exact sound vibration in Gurumukhi is that which enters into the conscious mind, subconscious mind, to help raise our understanding of life and living, to give us that strength of mind that nobody can break us ever. So we say Bani then is what? Bani is that which is inside of us. It vibrates inside of us. It's an experience. Then what is Bana? Bana is that. Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave us Bana so we would be recognized, we'd be known. So if Bani is that which is inside, what is Bana? That which is shown outside. One day I was shopping at the grocery, at the market, and an English woman ran out of the store. She said to me, "Are you that Khalsa? Are you Khalsa?" I looked, I said, "I think I'm Khalsa. I'm looking like I think." She didn't know how I'm Khalsa. I just said, "You Khalsa." I said, "Yes, I'm Khalsa." And she said, "I heard that Khalsa helps everyone. A Khalsa helps everyone." She said, "I have a problem." So I reached in my pocket, I put my business card, call my office, you can make an appointment. She said, "No." She said, "You have to help me now." And I said, "You're right, I have to help you now." And I put my grocery bags down, and she told me this, that. I said, "No, very bless you, Waheguru." And she was very happy. But that taught me that day, that if I'm wearing this Bana, I have a responsibility in that Bana. Right? If I eat with ketchup, samosas shows everything, right? You wear white. So Bani is that which vibrates within us. We need that. A human being, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj told us that human being needs that inner, anahat hanji, needs that vibration within the body's shell, we can say. There's a physical form, needs that vibration to keep the japa tapa sanjama, the japa, the repetition, the tapa, the heat, sanjama, the experience of consciousness, the experience of God. Comes through a physical movement. So Bani is the most powerful tool that exists on this planet. Nothing is beyond Shabad Guru. What is Shabad Guru? Shabad Guru is the sound technology of the vibration of the exact Gurmukhi current of sound as we listen to Shabad, as we read Gurbani, as we hear that Hukamnam, as those words penetrate within us, that change us. This is why it's so important. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, don't be afraid to be who you are. Right now we're facing, you know what you're facing more than me, your families, everybody, have faced 1984, other times, and are facing today same. Right? Where there's those who want to put a stop to the growth of Sikhi. Why? Because Sikhs are powerful. When one practices this technology, you have that strength. They want to stop that strength. But we have to continue to spread this message, especially our young children, our young ones, our young adults. If we don't give them that devotion, that understanding of that connection at the feet of the Guru, then what are we doing? Sikhi is being challenged because we're not strong enough to bring the next generations into understanding what is the power of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and how it works in their lives. These children are very smart. My son was young when he was a little bit younger. I said, okay, come on, Fateh Singh, we're going to the Gurdwara. He said, well, Dad, you know, I can't go. I said, why? I said, I can't find the charger to my cell phone. I said, that's why you can't come? Yeah, I can't go, I can't charge my phone. Like, these children are a different mind. You know? I think you just come, we'll charge in the car. But is that kind of way of thinking is a different way of thinking, you know? I don't have my iPad, I can't go, you know. And seva is to share with others, to teach that seva, to share, to help humanity. And the world has to know. The farmers fought, and the world knew that our farmers were fighting, and we got what we wanted. We won it. But that victory is short, is temporary, may not be permanent. Now they want to stop those who want to help Sikhi, to get the children off of drugs, to spread a message, to Amritchak those who have been in bad ways, to show that there's pride in who we are and what we represent and what we are becoming, what we are to become, and we have to work for that, and we have to fight on this planet for peace. Our gurus fought for the human rights of all humanity. We have to fight that same way. And peace won't come through the guns. Peace has to come through our devotion. Peace has to come that we spread this message. There was an Englishman, he won prizes, the Nobel Prize, this and that, and he said that the teachings of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj could bring peace to this world. He said the teachings of the Guru Granth can bring peace to this world. He said there was one problem though. He said we're not sharing it with humanity. We're not sharing it to the world and letting the world know who we are, what we stand for. It's changing. It is changing, is true. It's not like it was 25, 30 years ago when we were there trying to spread this message. It's changing because our youth is changing. Our young adults are more aware now and want to spread this message. Because when I Amritchak, I said, when I gave my head to the Guru, I said, Guruji, my head is yours now, it no longer belongs to me. That was my consciousness. Why do you want to Amritchak? I said, because I want to give my head. That if I have to give my life at the feet of the Guru to spread this message, to help another person, to be with another person, to educate our children, to inspire, then I shall give my head to do that. As you wish, Guruji, that I shall follow. That's your blessing that you've given to me in this lifetime to live. to travel the world, to share a message of peace, to let people know who we are, what we stand for. When we started doing TV show back in 20 years, over 20 years ago, and the Canadian people, all they saw was an image of a Sikh, was somebody who fought each other, who had a kirpan, who was swinging it. We were terrorists, we were fighters. That's what their image was of us. That we were just fighting each other in Gurdwaras. That's the only pictures those medias showed, right? You know. And after some time on TV, we'd get so many English people, and they would write to us and they would say, "We never knew that this faith was so beautiful. Nobody ever explained to us." One woman called me, she said, there's a Gurdwara right by my backyard, there's a fence, and there's the Gurdwara. She said, "Can I go in?" She didn't know that she was welcomed. I said, "Of course, go in and have some langar. Everybody will love to see a person like you to come in their door, in the door of the Gurdwara." She said, "I didn't know I could come." And this is very much so, that people don't understand. So we have a lot of education to do. So changing the perspective on who we are and changing what is happening is that we have to educate everyone you know, explain, and be an example. Be a living example. This is why I came to the feet of the Guru. This is why I stayed at the feet of the Guru and didn't leave. Because I understood that we have something very, very special. But I knew it was important that my practice was strong. That I wake up every day, every day I do my Simran, every day I do Panchbani, every day I keep that devotion. Because that's what's going to carry me when sometimes I can't carry myself. Because I saw in our Sangats, I've traveled the world, I've been with Sangats for many, 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 many years traveling. And I would sit with Sangat and I would ask, why should one of us be in depression? Hanji? Why should one of us have alcohol problems? Why should one of us have drug problems? Why should one of us have financial problems? Why should one of us say, I don't know what I'm going to do? When we have the answer at our feet, but we don't listen to that answer. There's not one of us should be any depression. I say, don't be depressed in life, be impressed with life. Be impressed with this life. One of the young Sangat came to me one day, this young girl came to me, she said, I'm very frustrated. I said, become first-rated. Guru doesn't teach us frustrated, that's first-rated. We should be the top. We have the intelligence. I'm only sharing, I'm only sharing my own personal thing, if I'm saying something, but I'm sharing from my heart. How I learned, because I had an English guy coming in. I do nothing. I only had to learn from you guys. You taught me. You took me in and raised me. I've been with you these years, not with English communities. But my love for Guru is so strong because when I couldn't carry myself, I said, Guruji, you take care of it, please. You take care of it for me. Please show me that pathway. And I sat, and Guruji always has shown me the pathway, always has given whatever it was that I required has been given. But I fought that. I'm not saying, oh, I just gave everything. No. We have this thing, what's it called, like a melon on this shoulders of ours? What's that called? This melon, head, that's what they call it, right? It's like a melon, they call that cantaloupe. Right? It doesn't always, something gets soft and mushy, This mind, and this is what Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj taught more than anything else, was that the mind should be under your command. Don't be a slave to it. More than, you read Gurdwara more than I do. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj talks more about how to become commanding of the mind, not to become a slave of the mind. Manjit Jagjit, conquer the mind and conquer the world. We read it every day in Japji Sahib, don't we? Conquer the mind and conquer the world. But we haven't learned yet. No, we think mind is everything. So I read that day Japji Sahib. I said, okay, there's Mantra, we know is very beautiful as the beginning. And what is the first porting of Japji Sahib? Soch is soch na hovi, just sochi lakavar. Thousands of thoughts come, but not one thought is yours. So I had to, someday they asked me, can you explain what that means in English? So I said, well, I can only explain like this. I said, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying, you think, but you don't think, but you think, but you don't think, but you think, but you don't think, but you think, but you don't think. It's confusing just to hear. Because the mind itself gets so much into this thinking that it stops experiencing. We're so concerned, our children, right? They go to, I don't know what your standards are here, but we want, well, my kid's going to be a doctor, this one's going to be an accountant, this one wants to be a lawyer, this one we want to be, right? We got grade A, got 80%, 90%. But did we say, what did they get in Gurmukh? Did they get 80% in those courses? Did they get 100% in learning about the Gurus? But we grade them, we grade our children, right? We oftentimes, I did the same, by what percentage they got, did they get A, B, D, whatever it is. But did we think, what did that child get in their learning at the feet of the Guru? Did we think about that? What our next generations? We get so caught up into day to day life that we forget that we're here for a mission. Every Sikh, every Khalsa has a mission to serve in this planet. And to teach our children what is that seva. I came very young age, younger than many of you here. I came at a young age to the feet of the Guru. And I had to learn, and I say to all of our Sangats, I say, if this Gora kid from Toronto-born Canada can do it, can you not do it 20 times better than me? Why am I the one sitting talking like this? You should be the one, I should be, right? But I sat for years listening to kata, everything, even to learn to understand that Punjabi, and to learn to get the knowledge, to get the understanding. So that I would have that strength that whatever Guruji wanted me to do, I could do. I could not be afraid, not to have fear within myself, that I couldn't do something, that I couldn't make something happen. Problem is, I know I've been Punjabi so many years now that they call me Gaur Punjabi, right? Because I'm not quite Gaur anymore. I'm not quite the Punjabi, but I'm somewhere in the middle, So I learned, as you know, that we're very emotional, right? Punjabi, very emotional, strong, hot blood. But I had to learn to understand that we have to take all that emotions that we have, that depth that we have in us, turn all that emotion into devotion, bhakti. What is devotion? Guru says devotion is divine ocean. Sagar, it's large, it's huge, it's vast. No beginning, no end. So consciousness of mind has to become without beginning and without end. There's no limitation. One day I was making a business and the Lord said, did you want a limited company? You make a limited company, they call it in Canada. I said, no, I want my company unlimited. Maybe that's an English joke, Canadian joke, I don't know. But I'm saying they make that come. I said, don't be unlimited, let's be unlimited. Why should I limit myself to something? So that strength doesn't come, just my mind should have that strength. That's the power of Simran. We've talked about Bana, we've said Bani, we said Seva, now we say Simran. The power of Simran. To teach us, to give us the command over this mind. Because the powerful vibration, Vaheguru, 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 the power of that vibration of Vaheguru, 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 is that power that opens up to create an unlimited understanding of the self to conquer any obstacle that comes in your path, mental, physical, or within your devotion. They asked me that day, they said, well, what does that Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj mean for you? I says, this is my anchor. Because I may be like a ship, I might float this way, float that way, but Guruji always brings me back. You see that tabla drum? There's a little ring underneath the tabla. Where's our tabla player? He left. But there's that tabla has a ring, Hanji. And if you take that tabla off the ring and you try to play it, what happens? It goes this way, you can't, right? You can't play that tabla if you don't put that ring underneath it, right? But as soon as you put it on the ring, perfect sound. Because that ring gives that tabla what? Stability. And Guru's like that ring under that tabla. It gives us that stability. If we don't have it, what happens? Maybe I'll get, maybe this will happen. I don't want to live by maybe. I want to live that I know. Before I came to the feet of the Guru, I would say, I believe I know. I believe I know. What did Guru teach me? I know I believe. Anji shifted to I know I believe. That's the trust. But in my growth as a Sikh, I had to trust myself too. I had to trust in myself that that was going to be true. We ran many businesses over the years, and we opened schools. We financed the TV show. I didn't take one penny I wanted to keep for myself. Just made sure my family was taken care of. There was food, there was fun, they could eat. Other than that, I said every profit we make has to go back to serve Sangat. And we did. And when I was 60 years ago, 10 years ago, I had this message. Guruji gave me a message I heard that said, now you have to give up everything. Business, everything, give up everything. I said, well, what am I going to do? Who's going to pay mortgages? Who's going to pay? And Guruji said, no, you have to give everything, only serve Sangat. And it was test to me. Because when I was running businesses, we were making money, I could give money to do save, it was fine, okay. And Guru said, stop. I said, well, who's going to look after everything? Guru said, don't worry, it's already looked after for you. But mine, right? But I don't know, we got mortgage and staff to pay and blah, blah, blah. No, don't worry. So I had to sit within myself and I said, okay, Guruji, this is your message I'm getting. So I said in my mind, I said, okay, Guruji, if you give me everything, I'm going to have nothing. And if you give me nothing, I'm going to have everything. But English mind says, well, who's going to look after me? Guruji said, Sangat will take care of everything you need. Everything. So I sat in that. I said, this was the ultimate trust that I had to think yourself about if that message came to you, what you would do. Think in yourself. So I said, okay, Guruji, if you want me, I should just sit on that step by the road, then that's where you're going to put me, is okay. You want to bring me to that, I should have some gun and some food, something prasad in front, then that I'll have too, it doesn't matter. And as soon as I surrendered to that, and today I'm still with you, Guruji takes care of everything, Sangat looks after everything. And now I have the time free, I can mentor our younger people in businesses, I can serve. But it wasn't so much of that, it was more that, to me, it was the ultimate test of my trust, that I would trust that Guru Sahib would look after me, that I would trust that I would be taken care of, that I would trust that if those are the words that I'm hearing, that those words shall become real and those words shall become true. So when I look back at my journey, starting as a young boy who didn't know too much about anything, but put a trust that Guru would carry me, then I studied the history to understand the sacrifices made by our Gurus to give us a life today. When they tried to kill Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj and he left, they thought that would be the end of Sikhi, those that were after him. Did it happen? Nay, it can't. Because wherever one Khalsa chants is that Satnam, 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 Vaheguru, 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 Sikhi shall live. And I was a funny kid. When I started, I was a funny kid. Because someone told me that if any person ever, it doesn't matter who that person was, any person would hear Satnam Vaheguru, Satnam Vaheguru. So when I was younger and I tried to take a bus to a work job, I was maybe 27, 28 years old. And I remembered somebody said that if one person even heard one time Satnam, Satnam, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, even one time, it could change their lives. So I would stand by the door as people came in to the bus, to go on the bus. And as they'd walk in, I go, Satnam Vaheguru, Satnam Vaheguru, Satnam Vaheguru. I thought, okay, I mean, if one person can change, why should I limit that? Maybe that's a little funny, but foolish, but my mind is set that if that could come true and one person's life could change because they heard that, Satnam Vaheguru, then why should I not give that opportunity to somebody? Why should I be limited that only I should be the one that's my Sikhi? Is not my Sikhi. I'm not no less than you know. But that's why Satsangaji today we have to fight for the human rights. We have to educate. There's nothing coming out in the media of what's happening to Amritpal Singh. There's nothing in the media of what the lockdown is in India. There's nothing in the media that's showing how those are being, especially our young adults, are being arrested and put in jail and not being given any trials, any reason for their arrest. Those that are being tortured, those that are getting killed, that just because the fear that we will grow and we will be strong. And we have to make it known to the world that this is what's happening and that this cannot be tolerated. Did they tolerate Russia when it invaded Ukraine? Billions of dollars have come from the Western countries to support the Ukraine. And not that it shouldn't, no, it's wrong. But then nothing is mentioned what is happening in Punjab, how the human rights. Because just as Putin recently, that Putin guy, recently they claimed he was a war criminal for his arrest, then that arrest should come from Modi. Same. For years and years and years and years of oppression, not just of Sikh, but of Muslims and others. Right, Ji? I'm only saying that we have to be aware in our understanding that we're being challenged. And that challenge, because Sangat, you know, we have, I've been, as I said, I've been with you a long time, and I know the problems that we have in Sangat, I know. But at some point, and especially our young adults, our young people, don't want this conflict. They want peace. And in fact, Ji, and I may be wrong, I won't be here to see it, but I'm hoping your generations will, that Singh Khalsa shall be known in the world for our message of peace, to bring peace to this world. Our gurus in their time brought a peace, even though there was turmoil, brought a peace in the Punjab, brought a peace in India, spread a message. Guru Nanak Dev Ji traveled, they say we don't even know how far he went. Not just to Mecca, but he went China. Some people say even he went to Italy, I don't know for sure, but we've heard. But he traveled to spread that simple message of Ekonkar and gave us the exact formula. We read every day, exact formula of how a person's life is. What is that formula? What do we call that? Mul, Hanji? Mul mantra, Hanji? Ek onkar satnam karta pork nirbo nirvera kal murik ajuni saibang gur prasada jap. Ad satcha, jagad satcha, hebi satcha, nanak hosi, be satcha. Hanji? Ek onkar. He said there's one God, one creator who created this creation. Ek onkar. Satnam, Satnama, Panshabad, Satanama, Satnam. Sa means the beginning, Da means what that life we live. Na means the end of that, and Ma means that mother, that rebirthing of that. In one sound of Satnam, as Panshabad we call. So he said, Ekonkar Satnam. There's one creator who created all creation, who is the exact understanding of the entire cycle of the being of the human. Kartapurk. What is Kartapurk? Kartapurk is that does everything. Did I make this world? Did I use it? Kartapurk. So that one who created this creation, who brought the entire cycle of the life to the being, is the doer of everything. And that does everything, Kartapurk, Nirbo Nirver. And we have to be Nirbo Nirver, not just that Nirbo Nirver, that who created has no fear, has no anger, but we have to live Nirbo Nirver. We have to live in that without fear. We have to live without that anger within us. For what reason? To achieve a Kal Murat. Deathlessness. Ek onkar satanam kartapurk nirbo nirver akal murat. We have that sense of deathlessness. Sat siddhi siddhi akal mahakal akal murat vaheguru. We have to have that. Saibang is what? Has no form, is just as existent. And when that's understood and that's achieved within ourselves, what do we receive from that? Ekonkar, Satanam, Kartapurk, Nirbo, Nirver, Kalmur, Ajani, Saibang, Gur Prasad. We receive the blessing, the Gur Prasad. But then Guruji gives us the hukam. What's the hukam? Jop. That's the wake-up call. Jop! Wake up! Oh, jop! Wake up! That's Guru's hukam. Jop! Wake up! Don't sleep! And then Guruji gives us the exact understanding of the universal nature of the whole creation, of all creation. Ad Satcha, Jugad Satcha, Hebi Satcha, Nanak Hosi, Be Satcha. Ad Satch. Ad means beginning. In the beginning of that time, before all was creation, that created that which exists was the truth. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was born of Ad Satcha. He was born of Ad Satcha, the universal beginning of the truth. Jugad such that through all the ages, that same truth prevailed. Heb be such, that truth is with us today. Nanak hosi be such, and Nanak Dev Ji says, that truth shall be forever, shall never leave. So that in itself becomes, and Mul Mantra itself becomes the essence of understanding the beginning and the end of existence. Because Guruji says there's only two paths in life. One is we come, and the other is we go. But what is most important, Satsangaji, is what we do in between when we're here. You know, isn't life a little bit like a hotel? Did you ever go to a hotel? You check in, and then sometime you check out. Life is like a hotel. We'll check in, and maybe later we'll check out. And what can we do? It's not permanent, right? We're not permanent. So Satsangachi, I know there's a lot to say, but I know time and your time, but it's, God willing, we'll come back again. There's so much to share and knowledge I'm giving you today. Just a little bit of how I came to this path and what inspires me to be on this path. Now, to share one last story with you. One day I was teaching at a university to the Sikh students. And we were talking about Bani and reading Bani Bhat. And I was talking how important it is. I said, even if you just read Japji Sahib Bhat every day, don't start your day without it. It's too much risk. So one girl, she asked me a question. She said, Babaji, I said, what? She said, I don't have time. She said, I don't have time. You know, you tell me I don't have time. Kids, I got to get ready and what have you. You know, you tell me. I wrote 2 books on excuses, right? So I said to this girl, she was maybe 19, 20 years old. I said, do you have time to go to Starbucks and buy a coffee or something? She said, yeah. You have time to go to that shopping mall and buy some clothes? She said, yeah. You have time to get on your cell phone to your friend, yak, blah, 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 blah. She said, yeah. I said, but you don't have time to read Japji Sahib every day? She said, no. Right? What do we call that in English? Priority. So she had time to do everything else, makeup and this and that, and go to Starbucks, get a coffee or something, talk on the phone. I don't know how long these kids talk, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if you talk on phones or that talk tick, what's it called? Well, I don't know what those things, goggle, all those things, right? But we have time to all of those things, don't we? You go home tonight, you go on your computer, who mailed me, who texted me, you know, what website do I visit? You spend hours. I know, I have a son, he still sends hours on those things. But did we take a little bit of time to rise a little bit early, to rise a little bit early, to give ourselves a chance to grow, to let Bani come deep in our hearts. So Satsangachi, it is my greatest wish and my greatest ardas for all of us that we find peace, that we can share a message of peace to this world, that we can stop the injustices, especially what's going on in Punjab today, and not to be afraid to stand for the human rights and their choices, because there's a force in this world that wants to turn everything back. But Guruji said at this Kali Yuga, at this darker age of time, that those who want to try to maintain their power and their monies will do everything that they can to push us down. But Satsangachi, we cannot be pushed down. We have to rise. That's the Khalsa Raj. That Raj of Khalsa is today. Our time is now. We're not waiting tomorrow something should happen. We have to begin today to stand for that truth, that right, to give our heads, to not be afraid, to give our children the understanding of the importance of establishing a relationship to Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, so that we can be carried through time and space of this life. So Satsangachi, I'm very grateful, Bhai Sahib Ji, grateful for inviting us today to come. I wish we had more time, but I'm here in UK until 18 April. We'll be visiting many Gurdwaras. We'll be in Glasgow, I think, sometime next week. I think we're going to be visiting there. We'll be posting our schedule if you give us your emails or what have you. So, I think, did you want a few questions before we, or are we running late? Sat Sri Akal.
That was really inspiring, Bhai Sahib. Thank you very much. I'm sure everyone's been enlightened by your fresh thoughts this evening. Thank you for sharing that life experience, and that's the most important thing about Sikhi, living the life of a Sikh, not just being the Bana or reading the Bani or doing the Seva, it's actually living every day. So Bhai Sahib very eloquently explained some of his experiences in life, and also touched on the Punjab situation. And I did say at the beginning, if you want to ask some questions, please feel free to ask Bhai Sahib, because I'm sure he's got so much knowledge you can share with us. Any aspect of Sikhi, any aspect of Seva, any aspect of daily living, how do you incorporate that? You know, he's been a businessman, he's made many much money in his life, but the calling now is to the Seva, the Sangat. So if anyone's got a question, Roshan Singh, I'll give you the mic here. It'd be easy for everyone.
Savai Gurji Ki Fateh Ji.
I said obviously a lot of people have excuses in life about Amrit and we wait till we get to a certain age and then we take Amrit. Obviously, with the grace of Guru Maharaj, you touched Guru's feet, the philosopher's stone, and he's shown you everything. But how did your family react to when you wanted to change your belief? You wanted to follow this path. You wanted to get into Sikhi, and most of all when you wanted to take Amrit. How was the rest of your family? Obviously, they're not in a Punjabi background at the time. But
It took some time, but I was always a little bit, crazy guy, so they knew that I was a bit of a crazy guy. So after some time, they saw what I was doing and how I wasn't in some cult, right, or join, some fanatic. They saw that it had really changed me, and they were very proud. When I was on television, our television program would be 9 p.m. every evening till 9:30 p.m. And at 9:31, my mother would call me. She said, "I don't know, your eyes look tired. Why do you talk like that today?" She was my biggest, critic, She was very beautiful that way. And she'd say, "Well, when are you coming to see me?" And I'd say, "Mom, you can see me on TV." Oh my God, my whole head stood, what? She got mad at me, And my father was very proud. We had lots of newspaper clippings and things, because there was in the early years, obviously about me becoming Sikh, because our family was known in Toronto. So it wasn't, my mother told the story one day. She was at a restaurant. I don't know why the time exactly, but she heard from some people sitting across. They said, "Oh, well, we heard that boy joined the Hare Krishna." She knew they were talking about me. She said, "Oh, I heard that boy joined the Hare Krishna." And my mom turned around and said, "He didn't join Hare Krishna, he became Sikh." So after some time, they saw that I was okay. My grandmother never understood it, though. My grandmother, she thought, "Why do you wear that sock on your head?" She couldn't understand. But they saw that I was a good person, and actually I had become better, less crazy. Because for me, when I first put it to star, and I was, I've got a lot of energy, even my age, but you're seeing a very quiet person now, but because we did so much for so many years, traveling to India, everywhere. There's so many stories I could tell you. Started going to India, to Darbar Sahib, first time in 1983. And I sat on the rooftop with Sanchernal Singh Bindrawali. I sat with him every day. I was 29 years old, I didn't know that much, but so some way Guruji put me in some position, I was very blessed. And that day I went to Darbar Sahib first time, and I was 29 years old. So I was on the Pakama, so I said, "Guruji," I said, "you can take me now." And he said, "What?" I said, "Just take me." In Star Trek, that they beam me up, that thing, beam me. So I said, "Guruji, just beam me up, take me." Guruji said, "Why?" I said, "Because if you can bring this little kid, this white guy from the son of a baker, my family had bakery, right? Bread, buns, everything. If you can take this little kid from downtown Toronto, son of a baker, and you can bring him here to Darbar Sahib." I said, "Guruji, beam me up, Guru, just take me. I'm done. I reached, you brought me to what's left. Where do you go from here?" And Guruji said, "No," he said, "you have to go back." And I said, "Go back and do what?" And Guruji said, "You had to go back and teach." And I said, "Teach what?" And I didn't get an answer. So those are some of the way that I learned. I was so blessed. I met so many, and we've been going to India pretty much every year, since then until COVID hit. Many, many times to be at the Darbar Sahib and to visit throughout India and the pins. And, it's been, I can't share the vastness of what Guruji has done. And we've calculated once that I've read, I think we're up to about 14,000 Japji Sahibs now, that we've read over these years, right? Plus Bani, right? We do Panj Bani every day, and Amrit Veda we wake. So, that's why I say, G, that if I can learn it and do it, you have to do it better than me. I want you to be 10 times. I know that my success will be when you're 10 times better than me. Then I say, okay, now I'm successful. Go to G, I'm going to sit in a chair. They can just bring me some chai, a little sabji, it's okay. I don't think it's going to happen, but so, Hanji, other questions? See, I told you, first 20 years I didn't talk, and this 20 years you can't keep me quiet. Hanji, go ahead.
Response, obviously, like the family does have an impact on when
Hanji.
someone changes, one person changes in the family has impact on everybody.
Hanji, ancestor.
Sometimes good, sometimes not so good, but Bhai has shared that, thank you. Anyone else got any questions? Andy, can you pass it over from the family?
Why does I have two questions?
Hanji.
We are still learning. Yeah, I'm too old now, but I'm still at a very initial stage. My first question is, when we do Nitnem in the morning,
Hanji.
it's very easy to get lazy, and sometimes you did your Chatushan and that's it. And the next day you just listen to YouTube and that's it. How to become more consistent to be more Nitnem every day in the morning and in the evening? How to get rid of this laziness?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first question. And the second question is, as you just explained your story, which is very inspiring and truly, and I'm really very impressed and really want to learn more about it. So, how do you learn more about Guru Sahib? Did you start from some Sakhi or any literature or book, or is everything from, Guru Granth Sahib?
Hanji.
So there must be some literature which you started from. So I would like to learn more about it, so we can start something, so we can learn more about it.
Hanji. So first part of that question is, how do you keep focused, right, G? So you have to look at your way of living. For example, if you stay very up late at night, right, and you eat late at night, for example, you're going to have a hard time getting up in the morning. You drink too much at night, that caffeine's going to keep your nervous system, right? That's why it's very important. I do yoga. People say, well, yoga's not part of Sikh. I said, it's not part of Sikh, but it's an exercise system. So whether you do that, or you want to do stretching, or you want to do body lifting, it's all just technique, right? So I happen to choose one that allows me to stretch my body and build my nervous system. If nervous system is weak, right, from what? From overworking, from poor eating, from not sleeping well, then you're going to be very nervous. You're going to try to read Japji Sahib, or you're going to try to read Pat, and your mind's going to go a million places, and then right, you're going to fall asleep, and you're not going to be alert to it. So you have to look, first of all, what your lifestyle is. And you have to maybe make some shifting in that lifestyle, right? The other thing is, people will ask me, they say, well, when I sit down to read Pod and I start to read, my mind goes 1,000 places. I can't focus. So I say, stop for a moment. Before you begin, take 3 minutes. Just sit very still. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale. Wa. Guru. Wa. Guru. And calm down. So you see, within 2 minutes, your whole body will calm, right? Then pick up the Nitnem, then you could pick up and start. You'll see that when the body system is more calm, you're going to be more alert to it. So you have to learn to practice. Sometimes you just sit to read, I'm going to read, I'm going to get it done, I got to get to work at 8:30, it's in the 7:30 now, I only have 20, right, G? Mind. Mind used to become that slave. So look at what's in your lifestyle, because you sort of in a way have to build your lifestyle around, right, fitting in. We start early in the morning, and we've done that for 40 years. And that just becomes, personally I only sleep three, now I'm a little bit older, I sleep maybe 3.5 hours, I don't sleep very much. And always getting up at 3:30, so it's just natural now. But I had to change my way of living. I always did. It's nice, you're in bed and you have the comforter, and it's cold outside. Who wants to get out of bed? You want to get out of bed? I don't really want to get out. But I just say, Guruji, if I don't, then I'm in trouble today. I might as well stay in bed the whole day. I'm not going to take a risk going out. That's my thinking. The second part you're asking me was how to learn. Honestly, Ji, I'll tell you that most of my, now that we've studied the history of our gurus and the martyrs and those, you know, women who gave, those we've studied and learned. We don't want to talk too much, it's going to take us all night. But I'm honestly tell you that Guruji's Hukamnamas and reading Gurbani and reading from Guru Granth Sahib Ji and studying translations and the thought processes that Guru teaches us that comes from Gurbani has been my teacher. Because Guruji has taught me about processes of the mind, everything that you need, in my belief, everything you need to know about every aspect of living. Guruji teaches breathing exercises in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, right? Guruji teaches how to get out of depression. Guruji teaches how to run a business. Guruji teaches how to raise our children. Everything that we need is there. That's what I learned. And to this day, I'm still learning. As, oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's how we have to learn. Oh, that's Guruji says, understand that you have to bring this mind, this head to the heart. You can't bring this heart to the head. Right?
Thanks, Subinder. Very nice question. Thanks for the responses, Bhai. It was lovely, simple, easy responses. I think we can all.
Hello, Bhai. Bhai Khalsa, Bhai.
Khalsa Wafate Ji.
Now, I want to raise a question which has been in my mind for a long time. I've known your organization since about 1971. You know, I met Yogi Ji
Hanji.
at London as well. You know,
Hanji.
but the point is that that Guru Nanak Dev Ji, when he came to this world, he raised 3 points. You know, there was the mullahs on one hand, the pandits, and the yogis. You know,
Hanji.
Guru Nanak Dev Ji ran all 3 of them down. You know,
Hanji.
because he said that they were all misleading
Hanji.
the mankind. You know. Now, I mean, I don't want to run you down. I don't want to, because I have a great respect for you guys. But at the same time, how do you relate yoga with Sikhi? You know?
Okay. So first of all, let me make a clarification. I didn't come to Yogi Bhajan, to Yogi Ji. I first came to Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So my commitment wasn't, I met him after I did, because I was part of that organization, but I came first to the feet of the Guru. So my commitment has always been at the feet of the Guru. Hanji? Has never been to a Yogi Ji or Baba Ji's, it's always been at the feet of the Guru. And as far as yoga is concerned, yoga is not a part of Sikhi. Yet there's so much in Gurbani where Guruji talks about yogi and talks about yogas. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji, as you know, in Sid Goshthanji, he talked to the yogis to explain to them that they can't isolate themselves and that they answer. Have you read Sid Gosht, where Guruji's talked? And they asked him so many questions. So, Ji, my perspective is a little different because, yes, I was close to Yogi Ji. He was like a father to me, is true. He was very, very close association. But on the other hand, my focus is always on Sri Guru Granth Sahib. I do yoga because I started to do yoga before I even knew him, because I started when I was young in yoga, right? So it was always like a technique for me. So I don't join yoga with Sikhi, but I say that yoga is a very beautiful technology of body healing. That it's when it's used to help stretch the body, balance the glandular system, balance the nervous system, relax the body system, get the muscle system relaxed, that it's a very effective technology. But I'm not in agreement, I know some that say, well, it's part of Sikhi. I do not say that. And I'm publicly saying that, because this is public going to be cut out to the world. It's not, Ji. But it is a good technology because Guru Nanak Dev Ji went to the Udasis and he said, you're going up into the forests and you're isolating yourself. Because he said, those 3 things, Kirikaro, and he said, work hard, be part of the society. So he said, don't isolate yourself. And they spoke that to the yogis. And they said, well, we have this power, and he showed them what real power was. And then his son was a master yogi. The Takit of Adasi was given to Baba Siddhi Chand, was given the Adasi Pant. He was given the title of the king of yogis, right? And he had powers we don't even know beyond reality, beyond human understanding. So, gee, I don't know if that helps you a little bit, but I wanted to clarify for me personal, that I'm at the feet of the Guru. I came to the feet of the Guru before I met Yogi Ji. And because I was white and there was that system, I was certainly a part of it. But my devotion and my upbringing has been in the Punjabi community, not in that community. Although I was part of that community, I know those people because, there was a relationship, but my focus has always been at the feet of the Guru. My focus has always been within our Punjabi community. And although I do yoga myself, I do it as a disciplined practice to help me, right? Because I'm 70 years old, but I only look, 55? Come on, man. Come on, guys. I look okay, right, for 70, aren't you? So Gurbani keeps me going. No, I'm just putting that. Not that I need that. I'm okay. But, Guruji has kept me healthy and strong. Because I believe that we need a physical discipline. And I don't care if you do yoga, if you want to do weightlifting, if you want to run, if you want to do some other stretching. There's a million technologies out you can watch, you can get on, but do something so your physical body, as you were asking me, G, about Bhat, if the physical body is tense and tight and nervous system, and the brain gets very tight, then it becomes very hard to absorb. So the more relaxed we are, the more calm we are, the more easy we are, the more that value of that vibration of that Shabad Guru can enter into our heart and soul, our Atma.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm just thinking maybe one more. I want one of the females to ask a question if it's possible. But come here, if you can.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Bhai Sahib Ji, we are so fortunate to have Guru Granth Sahib Ji as our Guru. My question is, as Sikhs, I believe we haven't been able to do as much prachar or share the word of Gurbani.
Anji.
From your experience, what more we can do or what less we should do from your experience which will help spread the word more to our communities where we live?
I think just being visible and helping others, and which is the tradition of Sikhi, is to go and help in food kitchens, help needy people, do save at hospitals, do things, and also to let people know that the Gurdwara is open to everyone. Because I believe, and I don't know if this will come true, but my belief is there will come a day when so many people from outside here will want to come into the Gurdwara, from Scottish people, from other cultures, because they'll say this is the only place left on this planet that I can feel peaceful. So we have to open our doors, we have to become more visible. Do you have a Nagar Kirtan here? Yeah? Hanji? So, the more that you can be visible, the more we can support our children, to be in schools, to not, to live, to be able to be supported if they want to keep their hair and they want to, be accepted, and just education. But don't hide.
Perfect. Ladies, who's ready for a question? Must be one itching question you want to ask. Even if it's not from a female perspective, any question you've got, you must have something to ask, and then we're going to conclude. Anji. As equality is very important in Sikhi, so we make sure you have your chance.
It would be, I think, a general question from everybody. For you, from your experience, we as a parents, we want to know, how could we motivate, especially our teenage children, to be more consistent? I would not say consistent for them, but at least to be, do prayers early in the morning, before school, leaving for their schools and stuff.
Anji. That's a question that is asked a lot, I finally knew what it meant to be a parent. It was pay rent, keep paying the rent. The kids want everything. There's a certain entitlement these kids have today, right? And I'm still paying the rent, even in the 30s, right? But most important, and I've always said, if you practice and share with them the importance of it, and talk openly and honestly and help to guide them there, you know, to understand. They know, the thing with the children today is they know everything. In fact, problem is they know too much. There's too much internet and you know, just, you know more than me, social medias, all these things, that they have access to everything. And it's not good. In some way it's good because it expands their knowledge. On the other hand, there's a lot of not so good stuff. And then they get, a lot of the families talk to me, their children are, you know, all they want to do is play the video games, right? You can't get them off the computers, this and that. It's a very addictive kind of thing. So we have to, again, educate our young people, have classes here where you're working with the young people, explaining them. There has to be a connection, right? I explain when I'm teaching our young people, I explain to them that just as you have internet, right? So if you have internet and then you want to log on to that internet, you have to put password, you have to do something. You have to make a connection. Some of you guys are techies, right? So you know there has to be a connection between that source and, right? So I sometimes explain that Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is that same. If we don't help them to make that connection to Sri Guru Granth Sahib, to what the importance of that is, they don't get it. Right? They don't feel, so what's their experience of coming to the Gurdwaras? Come, do matate, get their kar prasad, go downstairs, play with their friends, have langar and go home, right? Without having an experience. So we have to give them that experience. So work with them. You know, even simple things, if you're all eating together, say a little ardas before you eat, you know, do it and tell them that before school, everything, we're going to take 5 minutes, we're going to do our das. And you do a little ardas, Guruji, help us bless our day, may you have good days in school. You know, start integrating that kind of devotion into them to understand. So some of those small steps you can take. Because these kids today, I came to the conclusion, these kids, I call them little lawyers. They can negotiate their way out of anything. You know, and by the time they stop talking, you're so, I'll go do what you want. You know, they're so, because today these children that are growing, they don't want controlling parents. They want wise counselors because they know everything already. So what are you going to tell them, right? When I was growing up, if my parents said, oh, you're going to come here, if I said no, what happened? Right side would be blue, the other side would be black, right? You know, you didn't have a choice. You know, that's it, boom, boom, you're coming, throw them in the car. These kids today, you even go near them, I'm going to sue, you know, right? But so that you have to learn how to reach your children with the psyche of the child. Mothers, you know the psyche of your children. You know mothers know more than anything. And talk to that child in the exact frequency where they'll hear you and understand. Because if you try to yell, you try to scream, you try to push, you try to shove, they'll just laugh in your face. They'll laugh at you, ha ha ha, try it. You know, our generation, we ever said anything like that, God forbid, we wouldn't go out for 6 months, you know. But these kids, so basically if your practice is strong, if you rise in the morning, if you share with them your devotion to that, we have to really save a generation, because with your question you're asking me, I've been asked 1 million times, thousands of times by families to help their children, right? And we want to bring them to the feet of the Guru to understand. So just be calm, be at ease with them, and talk to them straight and directly, and establish that connection to them. We as parents in this generation, we lose the connection to our children. I mean, we tell them what to do. They love us and they want everything, especially when they say, Mom, can I have 10 pound? I'm going out to the 10 pound. You know, they want everything. They feel entitled, but you also have to give them education. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Just on that point, you may want to be made aware of that we're having a parenting course, Sikh parenting course on 13th of May. So in Edinburgh from 10 till 5, so Saturdays, and it's going to be run by Khalsa Inspire. We're coming here, especially that might be a useful tool.
Great.
Biceps
very good.
hit the nail on the head there, about technology. how much we expose our children to technology is the key to like how we can maybe help them to develop as a whole person rather than just as a techie. Knowing anything about techie is like that, but being a whole person is more important. So look at that in the future. And thanks for all your questions, Bicep. Beautiful answers, responses, very short and concise. We could go on all evening, but obviously time is always against us. Think of the future. We'll look at Bicep. We can bring it back some other time and maybe have a longer session. Maybe have a session of yoga, because Kundalini yoga is a way of like just helping the body.
Anji.
If you do exercise, whatever you do to help yourself to sustain your stability, endurance, whatever you want to do to keep yourself fit, that's your own thing. Nobody can say you do this or do that. Whatever suits your metabolism, whatever suits your physiology, that's what you do. So, Bicep, I request if you could do the Anansia part,
Anji.
and we can vote, and then we'll conclude the service with the Ardas. And thank you to everybody for all your patience. I know we're a bit over, but the time we spent tonight will be very valuable, and I'm sure it'll go a long way for the future generations. Dhanwaji, why did you come?
And Ji, just in closing, Ji, I want to just thank you, Ji, from the bottom of my heart, that you've allowed me to come to be with you today in the presence of our Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And it's very important that we keep in touch. You know, I'm available on social medias and Facebook and that, and also any donation is appreciated, because we do travel the world and we do depend on Sangha to help us and help us share the message. Do we have a good to read for Naqsa, because it's a bit easier for me? Or my phone, Ji? Oh no, not that's a different phone. Well, somebody can do it. You want to do an answer? Yeah, you come. You can do. Yeah, it's okay, Ji. I can do it, but let him come and do it now. He can do an answer. It's okay.
We'll just do it in Sangat through.
You do it in Sangha.
Oh, we're doing Sangat. We're doing Sangat.
Okay.
We're doing Sangat. We're doing Sangat.
Okay, Satnam Tijanand Ekonkar Satguru Prasad Badiya Mani Maya Satguru Mepa Satguru Tapaya Sahaj Sati Manavajya Vadaya Ragratan Parvara Padya Shabad Gavaniyai Shabadot Gavo Hari Kera Manajani Vasayam Kahe Nanak Nandan Hoa Satguru Mepaya E Mana Meria Tu Sadar Ho Hanal Hanal Ho Tu Mana Mere Duka Sabarusana Sankaro Kari Tere Kari Sabasavaran Sabanagala Samaratu Swami Sukyo Manavisare E Nanak Nandan Hore Sadar Ho Hanal Sache Sahiba Gyan Hi Kate Garta tere sab kich hai jis te supave sada sivat salat teri naam man vasave naam jinke man vasya vaje shabad gneri kahe nanak sanjay sahib gyan hi kate sacha naam mera adaro sach naam da mera jin bhuka shab gavai kasant sukh maniyai vasya jin che shabad pujai Sada Kurban ki ta Guru Vito Jiste Vadiyaya Kahe Nanak Ho Santo Shabadro Piyaro Sachana Ra Adaro Panchabat Titgar Sabage Shabad Vaj Hara Chitgardariya Panch Dutu Dvasa Kita Karkanta Kamari Durkaram Payan Tujinakose Nama Ke Lage Kahe Nanak Te Sakoa Titakara Anhadavaji Anansano Vadabagi Ho Sagala Manore Tapure Parbaram Papapayam Sabravasure Dukarog Santa Putre Suni Sachibani Santa Sadjan Bhai Sarse Pure Gurte Jani Sunte Panit Heta Vituri Arbar Pure Pinvant Nanakur Charin He Vajayana Hataduri Salo Panit Pavita Satguru Arbar Pure Pinvant Nanakur Charin Lage Chache Sapuri So Pavan Guru Pani Pata Mata Tartamat Divasarat Duda Hidaya Kele Sagala Jagat Changiya Buddhaya Vaje Dharma Dura Karmi Apo Apni Kene Reke Dura Jinni Nam Diaya Ye Meshak Gal Kate Mukujale Keti Shuti Nal Jinni Himashak the Gal Nanak Muku Chile Keti Shuti Nal Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.